Good morning, year 11. This is going to have to be quick because apparently I've mucked it up like a lot, and I've somehow managed to, record a video without sound is basically what happened. So I'm now going to try and fix that with a really weird, that's a horrid close-up, but I'll do the best that I can. Answers. You want to know what they are. We got 16 out of 20. Well done, everyone. Thank you to Toby for finding out that the video had no audio. Lord knows how that slipped through. It looked like it had audio when I uploaded it, but it totally didn't. So let's quickly get on to the answers, and I'll do it as quickly as I can. I looked ahead of them this time because I actually know what the answers are now, and I didn't know a lot of them, so I was reliant on you guys. Thank you to everyone that took part and was able to supply those answers. Let's move on as quickly as I can. What could have left thousands of US health workers exposed to COVID-19? Everyone got this. Well done. It's fake face masks. I say everyone, there are a couple of answers that were different, but most people got this. US federal agents have seized more than 10 million fake N95 masks in recent weeks. That's quite impressive, which means there are people out there whose response to a national and international pandemic is to profiteer and make money. I know. Question 2. What did Prince Harry and Meghan, why can't we just call them by their surnames? It's so, anyway, everyone got this, they're announcing another baby. A spokesperson for the couple said in a statement, "We can confirm that Archie is going to be a big brother. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are overjoyed to be expecting their second child." What is with this focus on the monarchy? I swear it never used to be like this. Question 3. True or false? Donald Trump was acquitted, found not guilty in his recent impeachment trial. It's true. Of course, it was voting on partisan lines. To convict him would have taken 67 votes in the Senate, and at least 49 of those votes are held by Republicans, meaning that although 6, I think, or 10 voted against him, it was not enough to carry it over the line. As a consequence, he was found not guilty of inciting an insurrection. The argument going that since he was no longer president, he couldn't be guilty of the things he did whilst being president. I wish I were joking, but I'm not. Question 4, this man, of course, is Mark Zuckerberg. He leads Facebook. And the argument between the US government and Facebook is not edifying. The Australian government wanted the tech giants to pay money to the media giants, owned by Rupert Murdoch, among others, to use their materials and their links, which would have given large media companies even more power. That's not to say that tech giants are on the side of good. They're also guilty of pushing traffic away from independent creators and small creators to large sites such as those owned by Rupert Murdoch. Basically, no one comes out of this looking particularly good. The Australian government for doing the bidding of Rupert Murdoch, or Facebook for accidentally deleting access to its own site in Australia, because it's nuts and Facebook is just not very good at organizing things. It's hilarious. If they paid local news providers, that would be amazing, but that's not actually what the law says. Interesting how this questionnaire runs. Last week, NASA's rover named Perseverance landed successfully on, of course, Mars. It's joined by 2 other missions, though it is the most sophisticated of the 3. Researchers have found the amount of wildlife domestic cat kills can be reduced by a quarter by, and are none of you cat owners? No one got this. It's playing with a cat for 10 minutes a day. Apparently, if you set them a puzzle, they kill more because they're frustrated, because they're cats. I'm not a cat owner. A bit like humans, I suppose. Question 7, US President Joe Biden has declared a major disaster for the state of Texas, following which type of weather event? Twas freezing temperatures, which froze gas and oil production. 1/5 of them across the United States, but most of them in Texas were frozen, and that's what's caused the major issue. Also, the fact that Texas, in order to maintain private ownership of its infrastructure, had not connected to the national grid, and as a consequence, could not be bailed out when their own grid failed. Boris Johnson has encouraged other members of the G7 to donate vaccines. He wasn't the only one, he was just the British one. The only Asian member is, of course, Japan. Well done, everyone got that. Then we got a quote from PM Johnson like he's leading the charge or something. He's not. He was just the one quoted in the UK. It's a weird choice, this questionnaire, weird choices. Plenty of talk around COVID vaccines. Programs should be spelt with an extra ME here. Which one's not involved? It's Unilever. Although it has its finger in a lot of pies, being a transnational corporation, it doesn't own anything that would be even remotely interested in creating a vaccine. So yeah, it might be involved in distribution, but nothing else. Yeah. Chinese New Year was celebrated from February the 12th, welcoming the year of the ox. And you all got this as well. Thank you very much. I didn't know that. You are all better than me. It's a lunar calendar, meaning that the Chinese New Year moves each year. And it's dedicated to an animal in the Chinese zodiac. Thousands of people watching online live stream see an extremely rare flower bloom. It was indeed the moonflower. And it's called that name, Solenicera switii. First flower in the UK, we think, and it had a camera trained on it for 11 days. That is astonishing. In which country is this ancient landmark found? Wreathed in snow. It's Lagrek, Greece. Well done, it's the Acropolis. Snow's pretty rare around the Acropolis, though could become more common because they've detected that the Gulf Stream that brings warm water from the Caribbean to the shores of Europe is beginning to weaken. We could live through the shutdown of the Atlantic conveyor and thus live through Arctic temperatures as a result of global warming. Isn't that fun? Anyway, Europe's oldest person, French nun Lucien Randon, overcame coronavirus recently in time to celebrate her 117th birthday. Well done, everyone. Sister Andre is the second oldest known living person in the world. She tested positive for the virus in mid-January in the southern French city of Toulon. I hope I got my French pronunciation right. I am rubbish at French pronunciation. True or false, a recent decision by the UK Supreme Court has said that drivers for Uber are technically self-employed. It's false. They have not said that. They said they're employed by Uber, and therefore, in the gig economy, they're entitled to minimum wages and holiday and sick pay. That's amazing. Most jobs that are being marketed to students such as yourselves are in the gig economy, i.e. paid for what you do rather than paid on a salary. And therefore, you might not end up being able to pay the bills on the wages they pay. And you're not covered by protections in many cases because you're technically self-employed. This decision says that if a company regularly uses your services, you are employed by that company, and therefore you are eligible for minimum wage and holiday pay, at least as long as the current government decide to maintain those European rules that we all hate so much. Question 15. Yes, it was you I was thinking of, Reese, when I mentioned Al Jazeera. The dam they were helping to build was swept away by a wall of water for 35 construction workers because of a collapsed glacier from Nandi Devi, sending floodwater sweeping down that river. What's that? The Diwali Ganga? I'm really bad at pronunciation today. And the fact that I'm doing this for the second time, you'd think I'd have looked it up and done it properly, but apparently not. Over 180 people went missing after the flood. Ouch. Question 16, careful, this is South Korea's flag, though enough of you got that, that it was fine. Those of you just put Korea, there are 2 Koreas, but yeah, you all knew this. A UK woman, and it was in an assembly a few weeks ago, apparently, or even earlier this week. How long did it take her? It was 70 days Ling for Jasmine Harrison, a 21-year-old swimming teacher from North Yorkshire, set off with a 3,000-mile, 4,828-kilometre journey from the Canary Islands. She docked in Antigua, completing the journey in 70 days, 3 hours and 48 minutes, which is pretty impressive. Question 18, why were they upset with the French Air Force? They actually cut power lines because they're flying so low. I know, I would never have guessed that one. They struck electrical lines and it caused a fire, which was quickly brought under control because we needed to know that. And the village remained without power for a few hours. I mean, a few hours could be up to 24, I guess, so who knows? Question 19, true or false? The World Health Organization team in China says they have found evidence that shows COVID-19 probably came from bats. It's actually false. They found it present in many species, but there's no definitive evidence as to which species transferred it to humans. They know that one of them probably did, but they can't prove which one. So yeah, it's everywhere, apparently. Joy. Question 20, thank you, Tabby, you're the one that provided this. And I knew you would be. It's Osaka. And Naomi Osaka has won her 4th Grand Slam, beating Jennifer Brady in the Australian Open final. I'm fairly certain we've had a quiz answer with her as the answer before, but who knows? It's Osaka's 4th title win from 8 appearances. That's pretty good. That's a 50% win rate. I wish I could manage that one. So there we have it. A gabble through the answers with an uncomfortably close-up and a weird backdrop because thanks Toby for pointing out there was no sound. I shall bring this to a close. Have a lovely rest of your day, Year 11, and have a lovely weekend, and hopefully I've updated everything in time. So yeah, I'll see you next week.